for that, Mr. Llorente. Ms. Pungo, would you like to respond to the...
Madam Chair, I would like to be recognized.
Yes, Ms. Madrona, you are now recognized.
Your question is that we put department-based organization as one of the facilitators committee, where the DPO can can assist the vice president and the representative whether can I speak in a vernacular? Excuse me po, medyo maingay. Hello, hello, Madam Chair. Can I speak in a vernacular language?
Yes, you may kindly proceed.
Ayan. Okay, whether kung ano man po yung position niya sa DPO, he or she can help with facilitating with this program that we have because it is urged to have open and to help each and everyone in to make this um, to make the hub open for everybody, of course.
So, follow-up question ako. So, every officers or every members of the department-based
Mr. Llorente, sorry, but you have to wait for it to be
sorry po.
recognized.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Apologies. Mia Kulta po. Madam Chair, may I be recognized po?
Mr. Llorente, yes, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Follow-up question, Madam Chair, to the authors po. Does that mean, does this mean po that the department-based organization, all members and officers will help on the activities?
Madam Chair, I would like to be recognized.
Yes, Ms. Madrona, you may now respond to the inquiry of Mr. Llorente.
Okay. Mr. Yes po, anyone from department-based organization who is willing and who is willing to be part of the facilitating committee is very much welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Madrona.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized po?
Yes, Mr. Llorente, you are
Thank you, Madam
recognized.
President. I would like to thank the honorable representative from the College of Arts and Letters for answering all my queries. That being said, Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion amending the clause. The clause po that from the facilitators, from whereas the facilitators committee shall consist of the following groups: Vice President and representative of the College Student Council, Department-based Organization, Team Albay Youth Organization Incorporated, to as follow po. Whereas the facilitators committee shall consist of the following groups: the vice president and representatives of the College Student Council, department-based organizations, or college-based organization, and Team Albay Youth Organization Incorporated. The inclusion po of the part of college-based organization because there are colleges po who don't have department-based organization, but they have college-based organization po. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Llorente. I just would like to confirm from the Secretariat Committee if they are able to input it well from according to your motion. Okay, so the Secretariat Committee would like to request for you to please type your motion so as they can input it in in the presentation accordingly.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Aller, you are recognized.
I would like to request our fellow assemblymen from the College of Nursing to modify this motion because I already indicated in my suggestion whereas a creation of a head committee is suggested with the assistance of the USC, CSC, CBOs in partnership with other organizations to facilitate the project. Can we not limit the number of officers to be part of this project, since we cannot say if those officers are available during the time of the application of the project. So can we just put, I would like to request the assemblyman from CN to modify it that way, so that we do not limit the number of officers to be part of the project po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Aller, for your manifestation.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I would like to be recognized po.
Yes, you are now recognized. Kindly introduce your name. I wasn't able to recognize you.
Na Mr. Lorente po, Madam Chair.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm having trouble understanding here. The yellow line indicates po amendments already. Yung the yellow highlights po.
Now, the Secretary General.
Mr. Dan, I'd like to clarify that the amendment here is the clause below po the original clause. Check already clear po.
Madam Chair, I would like to be recognized po.
Yes, you are recognized.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. There is a clause here that it's on the yellow highlight. It reads that you are asked the head committee shall consist of the following groups: University Student Council, President of College Student Council, College Student Activities and Service Coordinator, and Philippine Statistics Authority. I will yield some of my time to the Secretary General to answer if this is the final. This is a new clause po.
Hello, Mr. Dan.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So, let us begin na clear po ha. Ito, nabanggit niyo po, ito yung pinag Mr. Alay po from this clause.
Madam Chair, I will reading po the remainder of my time to ask po a question here. What's the difference between the facilitators committee and the committee po the authors po of the resolution can indulge to the question po.
Hello, Mr. Dan. Can you please repeat what you said?
This question po is to the authors po, Madam Secretary, if ano po yung difference ng facilitators committee and then head committee.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized po? Yes, Ms. Pungo, you are recognized. Okay po. With that po, the difference between the head committee and the facilitators committee is that we made it more structured because if there's only one committee that will be what do you call this po? That will have to lead this said event. I think po, Madam Chair, may I speak in the vernacular language po? Yes, you may kindly proceed. Ayan po. I think po kasi parang hindi siya hindi madaling mapunta, hindi madaling magkaroon ng communication with the other students. So, if there's a head committee, they're the ones who will the ideas will be coming, the foundation of the ideas will come from them, and they will ibababa nila yung mga napag-usapan na mga kailangan gawin and kailangan gawin on the said event. And then for the facilitators committee, they're the one who's present, of course, during the said event, and sila yung magiging way din para mas mapadali yung communication with the students itself, enriching the student itself. Ayun. But also, stated din naman po, not because na hindi, na mali po pala ako nagsabi na yung facilitators committee lang yung present during the said event. Of course, the head committee shall be there din po. Yung ano din po kasi ng head committee is they are the ones who will be communicating with the Philippine Statistics Authority. Ayun. Thank you so much, Ms. Pungo. Now, are there any more manifestation or amendments as to this clause? Hearing none, let's proceed to the next clause. Whereas the operating budget for the registration shall be catered by the Philippine Statistics Authority. Are there any amendments regarding this clause? Before we proceed, I would like to ask for the assistance of the Sergeant at Arms of this Council and the PR Committee to please coordinate and contact all the members of this assembly for us to be able to maintain the quorum of this resolution and proceed with the ratification of the pending resolutions that are being presented and are to be presented in today's assembly. If the reason of the absent members is not reasonable and it will be deemed for an appropriate action from the Chief Legislative Officer. Again, I would like to reiterate for all the members here who are still present, if you have members who just left this meeting, kindly remind them to not leave this meeting unless it has been properly adjourned. And I will ask for the assistance of the secretary, the PRO of this council and the Sergeant at Arms to kindly assist in enlisting all the members who left the meeting and lobby to me the reason of their of them leaving this assembly so that I may be able to execute proper action towards these members. Thank you. We shall now proceed. While we are waiting, we shall now proceed to the resolution. Are there any other amendments as to this clause? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the next clause. And it reads, whereas college is a challenging time for many young people, it's a period of growth and transition as they learn to adapt to the demands of the university enrollment without the protections and restrictions of their parents' homes, to which equipping yourself with a valid ID helps you become a thriving person in society. Are there any amendments as to this clause? I would like to repeat, are there any amendments as to this clause? Yes, you are recognized. Kindly introduce your name. Sorry, but your audio is the volume of your microphone is too low. Can you please restate your manifestation or if it's a motion?
Hello. Am I audible now? Hello.
So I move to amend the 10th clause. I move to remove the 10th clause for the reason that I believe it's too generalized. And number two is that it is unnecessary for the resolution proper since we already tackled the salient points in details. Thank you. So there is a motion to remove this 10th clause from the resolution number 4 series of 2020. Before we proceed, again, I would like to reiterate that by the power vested in me as the Chief Legislative Officer, if the reason of these assembly members who left the meeting without a reasonable, ano ba? Reasonable explanation, me in enlisting those members who left the meeting without prior notice. So I now give this task to the Sergeant at Arms. Thank you. Yes, you are recognized.
Is my audio audible po?
Yes, your audio is clear.
I'm Paul Aaron Ala, the Sergeant of Arms po. Upon checking the current schedule or the current attendance of the college student councils, we found out that there are certain colleges that have no participants in the meeting po. As of 5:09 p.m., we have found out that there are no representatives for TC, or we have just omitted them because they have not changed their nicknames to the proper format. Aside from TC po, we have CL and CAF. Those are the three colleges for them.
Thank you for this information from our Sergeant at Arms, Paul Ala. Now, I would like to request for a copy of the list of these assembly members who just left without prior notice. And we shall proceed with the reading or the discussion of the amendments of this resolution. Thank you. So there is a pending motion to remove this clause from the resolution. Now, are there any more manifestation?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Aller, you are recognized.
May I move for the reconsideration of my proposed amendment to the previous clause, since I was not able to see it well. I'm very sorry. The clause pertaining to the budget for this resolution. That, Madam Chair, may I request po to scroll down the resolution. Here po, Madam Chair, whereas the operating budget for the registration shall be catered by the Philippine Statistics Authority. I have one suggestion, and before I suggest, may I be given a chance to ask the author if they have contacted the PSA regarding this clause.
Hello,
I
Madam
believe
Chair.
I believe, Mr. Chair, you just proceeded with your question anyway. That's acknowledged. Now, for the authors, would you like to respond to the query or inquiry of Mr. Aller?
Hello, Madam Chair. I would like to be recognized.
Yes, Ms. Padrona, you are now recognized.
Regarding the budget and the contact with the Philippine Statistics Authority, we consulted first with them, and they told us that it is free and free of charge. Regarding with the budget, The only thing I have in mind is the snack for the for the for the staff from PIA or PSA, I mean. But with other charges po, can I speak in a vernacular language?
Yes, you may please proceed.
Yan, with other charges, wala naman pong anything na babayaran. Just that we just consulted them, and the regional director, I mean, I consulted the regional director, and she just told me to submit a letter, and that's all. A permission only, nothing more and nothing less.
Thank you so much for your response, Ms. Madrona. Are there any more manifestation?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Aller, you are recognized.
Since it is already mentioned,
Okay, so I have been notified that Mr. Aller was unfortunately and accidentally has been disconnected from this Zoom meeting. So we'll get back to him as soon as he was able to rejoin to this meeting again. Now, are there any other manifestation? Mr. Aller is now joining again the Zoom meeting. Mr. Aller, you may now proceed again.
may I move to amend the said clause 2, whereas the operating budget for the registration shall be catered by the university.
There is a motion to change the phrase Philippine Statistics Authority to Bicol University. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, since the main project budget will come from the PSA, the operating budget for the project shall come from the university, based from the statement of the representative from the College of Arts and Letters.
Thank you for the clarification. Now, I would like to ask if there are any other manifestation or amendments. Yes, Mr. Ala, you are now recognized.
Madam Chair, is it okay to post an update just for regarding the attendance and unrelated comments?
Yes, you may now proceed.
There are participants who are wishing to be admitted. They are currently in the lobby.
Thank you for that notification. Now, I am directing the technical team to kindly admit those participants who wishes to enter again the Zoom. Thank you. Now we shall proceed to the amendments, the discussion. Are there any more manifestation or amendments to the present clause we are discussing about? Yes, Mr. Llorente, you are now recognized.
Madam Chair, this is not my amendment po is not on the current clause. Can I proceed po, Madam Chair?
Yes, you may now proceed. If there are any, before we proceed, I would like to ask for the last time, are there any manifestation or amendments as to this present clause? Hearing none, Mr. Llorente, you may now proceed with your proposed amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to go back to the clause, to the clause where it indicates the facilitated committee po.
Now, we are requesting the assistance of the Secretary General to please go back to the clause that Mr. Llorente is referring to about the facilitators of this proposition.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to amend the clause whereas the facilitators committee shall consist of the following groups: Vice President and representatives of the College Student Council, Department-based organization, and Team Alpha Youth Organization Incorporated do as follows po. Whereas, the Facilitators Committee shall consist of the following groups: College Student Council, department-based organization or college-based organizations, and Team Alba Youth Organization Incorporated.
Thank you so much. So there is a motion from Mr. Llorente, but the Secretary Committee, again, we would like to request for you to type the entire motion you would want to raise for the amendment. While waiting for Mr. Llorente, we shall proceed with the succeeding clauses that needs to be discussed or that are not yet discussed. Now, for the next clause, it reads, now therefore urging the general legislative members to approve the regulation that designates Bicol University campuses as registration hub of PLC's national ID of Bicol University students.
In addition, the auto name is shaped species specific when it comes to shape. Walang kaparehas na shape ang auto name na different species. So the shape is species specific. Okay?
Yes, Mr. Toranueva, you are now recognized.
Madam Chair, for this 11th clause, now therefore urging the General Legislative, I would like to add the word council for us to complete the phrase of our General Legislative Council. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion to add the word council to the phrase urging the general legislative members. Are there any more amendments? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the last clause. Be it resolved that the resolution copy will be distributed to all officers for immediate approval. Are there any amendments for this clause? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the adoption of all the amendments for the resolution number 4 series of 2022, a resolution entitled Making Bicol University Campus as a Hub for PhilHealth's National ID Registration of Bicol University Students, as sponsored by the External Relations Committee. Anyone who would like to raise a motion for the adoption of all the amendments?
It can detect slight vibration that other tissue of the body of the fish.
Before we proceed to the motions and before we accommodate the motions, I would be recognizing first the Secretary General upon their finalization of all the amendments so that they will be able to read it to all of the members.
Gas bladder. Okay? So a gas bladder also increases sensitivity to sound. Sound waves cause vibration in the gas bladder.
request the Secretary General to kindly read all the amendments proposed by the members of the council.
Also 5C.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be reading the amendment for this resolution. So for our title, a resolution urging Bicol University campuses as a designated hub for Philippines National ID registration of Bicol University students, amending to replace the students to community. Next, amendment in the second clause, whereas 4 years ago, President Rodrigo R. Duterte signed into law in August 2018 Republic Act 11055 or the Philippine Identification Act that aims to establish a single national ID for all Filipinos and resident aliens, in which a valid ID gives recognition to an individual for academic purposes. This is especially very important for college and university students where he or she can be identified as one who is part of the institution, wherein it is amended to be removed. The part that this is especially very important for college and university students where he or she can be identified as one who is part of the institution. So the next one we have the whereas the College Student Council of Bicol University College of Arts and Letters would like to pass a resolution designating Bicol University campuses as a registration hub for Philippines National ID of Bicol University students. This is to give the students easy access to its registration in cooperation with the Philippine Statistics Authority, more specifically a guide in support of students who have not yet registered, amending into the clause, whereas the College Student Council of Bicol University College of Arts and Letters would like to urge the administration to designate Bicol University facilities as a registration hub for Philippines National ID of Bicol University community. This is to give the easy access to its registration in cooperation with the concerned organization. Next amendment, whereas the change is whereas the community of Bicol University, including students, teaching and non-teaching staff ages 17 to 27 years old and above, are encouraged to register. Due to the situation, we will strictly comply with no outsiders as we are ensuring the safety and welfare of the students during the said registration. Next amendment is to remove this clause, whereas the location of registrations will be at each campus and college. Moreover, the Bukeng Gymnasium shall serve as the main headquarters of the said registration in case of an emergency. A timeline shall be crafted by the head committee that will be followed strictly by each college and campus. Next amendment, change this clause into whereas creation of a head committee is suggested with the assistance of the USC, CSC, CBOs in partnership with other organizations to facilitate the project. Next amendment to change this clause into whereas the facilitators committee shall consist of the following groups: college student council, department-based organizations or college-based organizations, and the Team Alba Youth Organization or Corporation. Next clause is to change this into whereas the operating budget for the registration shall be catered by the Bicol University. Next amendment is to remove the 10th clause, whereas college is a challenging time for many young people. It's a period of growth and transition.
I would like first to cut the speech of our Secretary General.
Such as rapid change, exposure of college structure,
Sorry for the inconvenience. Now, Ms. Secretary General, you may now proceed.
Okay, for another amendment is to remove the 10th clause, stating, whereas college is a challenging time for many young people. It is a period of growth and transition as they learn to adapt to the demands of university environment without the protections and restrictions of their parents' home, to which equipping yourself with a valid ID helps you become a thriving person in a society. Next amendment is to change the urging the General Legislative members into now, therefore, urging the General Legislative Council members to approve the regulation that designates Bicol University campuses as registration hubs of Philippines national ID of Bicol University students. So that's so thank you for listening for the amendment of this resolution.
Thank you for that, Madam Secretary General. Now, may I hear anyone from the body to put the motion for the adoption of all the amendments for the resolution number 4 series of 2022?
Madam Chair, I would like to recognize Madam Chair, I would like to recognize
Yes, Mr. Llorente, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of the amendments to the resolution urging that Bicol University campuses as a designated hub for PhilSys National ID Registration of Bicol University.
There is a motion to adopt for the adoption of all the amendments for the resolution number 4 series of 2022. Do we hear a second?
Second the motion, Madam Chair. The motion.
Are there any more manifestation? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the division of the House. Are you ready for the question?
Question.
To those who are in favor for the adoption of all the amendments of this resolution number 4 series of 2022, kindly type I in the chat box. For those who are not in favor, please type nay. And to those who wish to abstain, kindly type abstain. You will be given maximum of 1 minute to type your votes.
It's a fish behavior like big fish, yung mga shark, nagtutrap sa rin, ikutan na kami. Of course, hindi naman ako mag-isa magdadal. May mga kasama ako, may body system na tinatawag. Ikutan ka niya. Twice, thrice, ikutan ka niya. And that circling that area, kung nasa ka, is their territory.
5 seconds left.
That behavior of the fish,
The voting is now closed and
or it shows that
the ayes have it. Therefore, the motion to adopt all the amendments of the resolution number 4 series of 2022 is hereby carried and approved due to general consent. Now, we move to the third reading and final reading of resolution number 4 series of 2022. I would like to call again the authors of this resolution to kindly present it to us.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. May I be recognized po?
say plastic, it's hydrowaterable.
Yes, you are recognized.
United States, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I would like to recognize first Mr. Torrenueva.
Madam Chair, we still have a lot to cover for GLA, so I move to suspend I move to postpone the reading of the third reading of this resolution and move immediately to the ratification.
There is a motion to suspend the third and final reading of Resolution Number 4, Series of 2022, and immediately proceed to the ratification of this resolution. Do we hear a second?
Second the motion.
Are there any manifestation? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the division of the House. Are you now ready for the question?
Question.
So that's
Now, those who are in favor for the ratification of Resolution Number 4, Series of 2022, shall proceed to the group chat of the voting members of this assembly and vote accordingly depending on your decision. Same goes with those who are not in favor and those who wish to abstain. Again, to be able to ratify this resolution, there is a required number of votes. It should reach at least 2/3 of votes from the assembly or council members for this resolution to be passed. So, for our council, we will require at least
meron naman na gayon na ang included date. And there are also yung tinatawag
for this session, we will be requiring at least 50 in favor votes
and doon.
to be able for this resolution to be ratified and passed. You will be given maximum of 2 minutes for you to cast your votes through the poll.
So behavior can also vary in environment. Vary in environment. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko. If you are in their territory, they are confident, they are aggressive in their territory. Pero kung wala sila sa territory nila, hindi sila aggressive. Kumbaga, they are on a defensive position. Okay? Environment. Behavior also varies depending on the perceived risk. Depending on the perceived risk. And also, on kung sila nag-group, iba yung kanilang behavior kung mag-isa. Okay? Yan. Dynamic display or posture. Lateral display, like ito. This one. Okay? Which means in animal face. Display. Lateral display.
May I ask for the assistance of the Sergeant at Arms to kindly facilitate in the voting of the members. Kindly give. So the time is up for the voting. I will now be reading the official result. So to those who are in favor, it got 53 votes from the council. For the not in favor, it got 0, and to those who abstained, it got 2 votes. So therefore, I shall now declare that the motion for the ratification of Resolution Number 4, Series of 2022, entitled A Resolution Making Bicol University Campus as a Hub for PhilSys National ID Registration of Bicol University, carried and approved. Congratulations to the authors. We shall
Madam Chair,
now-
may I be recognized?
Yes, Ms. Pungo, you are recognized.
I'd just like to send my regards and thanks po to the members of the GLA. We truly appreciate po your support with our resolution because we truly believe that a university campus is considered as the brain work of society, in which it is also our social responsibility, of course, to help improve the livelihood of each individual and us, the Filipinos, and of course the BUNs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pungo, and congratulations again to the authors. Now we proceed, and we shall go back to the previous resolution pending, the resolution number 3, series of 2022, a resolution upgrading the student identification card of students by changing the barcode system with quick response or QR code system and appropriating funds therefore and other purposes as proposed by Mr. Dan Lester Llorente and sponsored by the Students' Rights and Welfare Committee. I now call in Mr. Llorente to present the resolution to Assembly.
Madam Chair, good afternoon po. I've already sent an updated resolution, copy of the resolution po to the Secretary General. I think they're having trouble po to accessing that file. However, Madam Chair, I would like to, for now po, I would like to make a motion for the for a 10-minute recess po, Madam Chair.
Okay, so there is a motion for a 10-minute recess from Mr. Llorente. Do we hear a second for that?
I second the motion.
Association in Parent and Offspring after fertilization that enhances survivorship.
May I call the attention of the person who seconded? I would like to know who you are, and now I now recognize Miss Tiffany Liana.
Madam Chair, point of inquiry. What time are we supposed to adjourn in this day's assembly po? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your inquiry, Miss Liana. Actually, there has been no rule as to the as stated in the House rules given because I decided to give the assembly the freedom to decide as to what time will be the adjournment of this assembly. So if deemed necessary by the council, we can raise a motion to set the time for the adjournment that we shall follow. Thank you.
I do recognize, Madam Chair. Yes, Madam.
Are open to those
Yes, Ms. Larce, you are now recognized.
continuing. Mababa yung continuing.
That we adjourn the
Mababa yung
day for the reason that it's already
number of
5 p.m. onwards, and it's already time constrained because we consume a lot of time with this, and I believe that we need energy to recognize and to answer this resolution. So that's the mission.
Ms. Larce, would you like to please specify be specific with your motion? Can you please
To
state
amend.
the time?
I move to adjourn this meeting at 6 p.m. for the reason that it's already time constraining. Number 2 is that we have a lot of results to discuss, and we really need energy to
There is-
understand this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion to adjourn at exactly 6 o'clock p.m. Do we hear a second?
I second the motion.
Madam Chair, point of we still have
Madam
a
Chair.
pending motion, Mr. Llorente.
Yes.
Order. Please wait for you to be recognized.
11%.
Point of order, Madam Chair. We have a pending motion. We vote. Censure.
7%.
Okay. Thank you for that manifestation and point of order, Mr. Torrenueva. So we shall proceed with the voting for the pending motion to have a recess for 10 minutes. Do we hear a second?
Pag nag-respond sila,
Since the motion has not been seconded, therefore the motion to have a recess for 10 minutes is hereby not carried and not approved. We shall proceed to the reading of resolution. Mr. Llorente, kindly present to us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to to the presiding officer and to the members of the General Legislative Council. Last week, the College of Nursing already had their face-to-face classes in which they went to the college and performed their laboratory skills po. That being said, they have observed the new protocols set by the IATF when entering establishment. They need first to fill up the health declaration form and contract tracer before they can go inside the campus, and that is very time consuming and can cause crowd control. That being said, Madam Chair, this resolution was created to address that matter. A resolution urging the Bicol University Administration to upgrade the student identification card of students by changing the barcode system with a quick response or QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023.
Sorry for the inconvenience, but the Secretary General is just currently having technical problems as to the presentation. She shall be transferring the presentation to another device.
there are tilapias, species of tilapia that exhibit mouth-rolling. After nila mag-spawn, ma-fertilize, okay, ang ginagawa nila, pinapasok sa
Kindly proceed, Mr. Llorente.
And then introduced by Mr. M. Llorente, sponsored by the Students' Rights and Welfare Committee. Can whereas Republic Act 10-1091 or the Universal Access Quality Education Act of 2017 provides free tuition and other school fees to students who are eligible. Other school fees include the entrance fee, which covers the cost of identification cards and student handbooks for new students. Whereas according to Article 4, Section 1, page 24 of the Bicol University Handbook, an identification card will be provided by the university for eligible students of RA 10931. The fees will be charged to the Commission on Higher Education or CHED. Hence, an identification card is given to eligible students for free. Whereas the current identification card provided by the university has equipped a barcode system. The barcode system stores less data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. Whereas the proposed upgrade to quick response QR code system can store more data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. QR code scanners can be downloaded on phones, so anyone, including professors, guards, or even event organizers, etc., whereas the data can be stored in a Q whereas the data that can be stored in a QR code system should include the name, student ID, number, contact number, birth date, the birth of place, ID validation, and emergency contact. Whereas providing personal data when entering establishment has been customary during the COVID-19 pandemic for contact tracing purposes. Educational institutions have also observed this. Educational institutions have also observed this protocol as physical classes are gradually resuming, whereas accomplishing form for contact tracing causes delays, crowds, and traffic at entrances of buildings. Whereas in order to promote convenience to our students and cut the delay in registration or attendance at events or classes and contact tracing form, the identification card of students should be upgraded by changing the barcode system to QR code system by the appropriate administration and its appropriate authority. Now therefore be it resolved as it is hereby resolved to urge the administration and its appropriate authority to upgrade the identification card of students by changing the barcode system to a QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Resolve further that a copy of the resolution will be furnished to all concerned offices than this 21st day of March 2022 during the Bicol University General Assembly. Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion for the adoption of the resolution urging the Bicol University Administration to upgrade the students' identification card by upgrading.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Llorente, but Mr. Louis wishes to speak. You are now recognized because you are raising your hand.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I move to suspend the reading of this resolution since we only have 6 minutes and we need to discuss some other important matters within the other matters that that we will need so that it will be forwarded to the Board of Regents.
Madam Chair, I would like to respond.
So there is a motion to suspend the reading of the present resolution being discussed and proceed to the other matters for the purpose of the necessity in the forwarding of the other matters involving the Board of Regents of Bicol University. Do we hear a second?
So the schools have this hydrodynamic advantage.
Second.
It saves energy by dropping the air.
So are there any more manifestation? Hearing none, we shall now proceed to the division of the House. Yes, Mr. Llorente, would you like to speak?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So
I would like to ask the honorable chairperson to what
hydrodynamic
is referring to the there is 6 minutes time left since the motion to adjourn the council at exactly 6 p.m. was not approved po.
solid evidence about this matter. Okay? So most likely relate to foraging and
It was put onto motion but it was not approved.